And so when I say Chinese, I want you to scream out the nation that's associated with this. For example, if I say Chinese, you're going to say what?
China!
All right, let's say it with authority. When I say Chinese, you say what?
China!
All right, that's just a test right there. So here we go. Chinese.
China!
Russian.
Russia!
Italian.
Italy!
German.
Germany!
Swedish.
Sweden!
Korean.
Korea!
Egyptian.
Egypt!
Nigerian.
Nigeria!
Black.
Exactly. Nothing. Tell him, Pastor. Tell him, Pastor. Black, nothing.
I hope you were able to successfully identify the issue.
The lion won't sleep tonight, 'cause we woke now, and we woke now. I said the lion won't sleep tonight, 'cause we woke now, and we woke now. They want us to sell our souls to barter profit, like God's property. It's hard to market, so we steady to aim, keep your eyes on target. 'Cause when you got to drive, yeah, they'd rather you park it. But I don't valet, you ain't getting these keys. I'm keeping closed hands, I'm on bended knee. I'm just a reflection, dealing with 8 sections. Art mixed with life, you can feel the convection. Your lion won't sleep tonight, 'cause we woke now, and we woke now. I said the lion won't sleep tonight, 'cause we woke now, and we woke now. I said
This world and the next world are asymmetrical. The next world is where the majority of a person's actions, which determine his identity, are compensated. For the righteous, they exist in the world to come and they're rewarded. And for those whose major complexion is black, are excluded from the world to come.
They don't pay rent, then the city doesn't have, it's a chain of events that's so bad. One rough hour, and I mean real rough, the word will get out and it will end immediately. End immediately. You know, it'll end immediately. We are the party of common sense. I knew that once they had open borders, all of the countries, I didn't think about all over the world, I thought in South America, it's all over the world. Last week, a lot of people came in from the Congo, a big prison in the Congo in Africa. Welcome to the United States. They came in from the Congo, they came in from the Congo, they came in from the Congo.
With the U.S. presidential elections fast approaching, declarations by the candidates are now coming in fast. Former President and the Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump has now that if he is elected to the White House, he would revoke the temporary protected status for the Haitian migrants in Springfield, Ohio.
In Springfield, what's happening there is horrible. You have a beautiful community, 52,000 people, and about 30,000 people were put into that community rapidly, and the community is so nice and they want to be so politically correct. You have to remove the people. You cannot destroy, we cannot destroy our country. You had a beautiful, safe community. Everyone's in love with everybody. Everything was nice. It was like a picture community. And all of a sudden, in a short period of time, they have 32,000 more people in there. They are, in my opinion, it's not legal. It's not legal for anybody to do. It's not even on a human basis. It's not acceptable to the people that are there, and certainly to the people that are in Springfield. Springfield is such a beautiful place. Have you seen what's happened to it? It's been overrun. You can't do that to people. They have to be removed.
Let's be clear what this is. Trump is saying he's going to deport legal immigrants.
This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual purge sanctioned by the U.S. government. Weapons of Class 4 and lower have been authorized for use during the purge. All other weapons are restricted. Government officials of ranking 10 have been granted immunity from the purge and shall not be harmed. Commencing at the siren, any and all crime, including murder, will be legal for 12 continuous hours. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be unavailable until tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. when the purge concludes.
Hitler was, and the Nazis, of course, expanded on Margaret Sanger's approach to eugenics, right? Eugenics was a movement that was born in the United States under hard doctrines of racism with the intent of eliminating the tribe of Judah in the African-American community in this country, right? To eliminate them. With the intent of eliminating the tribe of Judah, with the intent of eliminating the tribe of Judah in the African American community in this country, right? To eliminate them.
Black people can't be anti-Semitic. We are Jew. You understand what I'm saying? We are Jew. So cool out until you do your facts. Until you really do the facts with the fake indoctrination that y'all put into the schools and all that. You know what I'm saying? We're not following y'all rules.
The entire Bible is about black people. Not only was Jesus black, but every character in the Bible seems to be black too. Yeah, Zephaniah and Jeremiah and Jebediah, those all aren't white people names, okay? And Jesus wasn't some tan, partially melanated Middle Eastern person either. I'm talking straight up black dude, okay? Even in the book of Revelation, when you get the vision of Daniel, he's describing someone with feet like burnt brass and white woolly hair, and we've got the deep running water voice with the red eyes, and you guys, he's black. The Jewish people are black people, like Kanye was right.
You know what you are? You're an ancient Israelite.
Ancient Israel, that's who we are. That's who we are. So if you give me time,
But
how did he say?
No, we don't have.
So many years.
I know. Look at this. This is pages and pages of
Yes.
notes. And I promise we'll give more teaching. But here is my challenge to you.
All right.
I'm hearing some of your traditions. It's like the days of the Bible.
Yes.
Do you want to remain ancient Israelites, or you want to be Jews?
Genesis chapter 11 verse 10 explains the genealogy of Shem. Shem was a black man in Africa. If you repeat this fact, they can't laugh at you. If you repeat this fact, they can't laugh at you. If you repeat this fact, they can't laugh at you.
Want to say peace and blessings to everyone. Hope and pray all is well with you guys. Hope you guys had a great Shabbat. And I know that this is a last minute, or should I say a last, or at the minute, or last minute schedule live. I meant to schedule this earlier during the week, but this discussion is something different than I had intended on discussing. I was going to continue to go even deeper with the appearance of the Messiah, really prove to you with scripture, with the words, going deeper into the words and history, that the Messiah looked like you and I, right? But I saw this video that I'm going to share some clips as we progress here. I saw a video come up on my timeline with Candace Owens having a discussion with Nick Fuentes, right? And it was way out in left field, right? But it was being the guys that you see on the screen were these twins here. They are referred to as the conservative twins, right? I never heard of them until this video popped up in my recommendations, and I saw that they were basically reacting to the Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes interview. And so I decided to listen to this 15-minute video. And I'm going to share some of the clips with you guys. And I'm going to tell you, it's way out in left field. It's very extreme. and these guys, these twins, along with this Nick Fuentes guy, is a reflection of the issue. Now, these twins here, according to their words, I didn't research them or anything like that, but watching the video, they made mention that they are mixed, half black, half white, as far as dealing with the institution of race. But nevertheless, some of the things that you're going to hear them say, I'm just going to play some of the clips, not all of it, but you're going to hear the issue that I have with these guys. It's way out there, family. I'm just making it clear, giving you a heads up. It's going to offend you with the things that these guys stated inside the video. This guy, Nick Fuentes, very extreme, says some very way over the top things about our community. And you expect that from other communities, especially guys like this guy, Nick Fuentes, some of the things that, his extreme viewpoint, which is racist, regardless of what these guys that I want to play clips from and some of the others that try to defend him, it's insulting to our community, right? So that's what we want to deal with tonight. As you see here, the Negro uneducated beast, right? I'm kind of spinning off of or playing off the choice of words of the source I'm going to share with you, titled The Negro a Beast, which is going to give you the source of these guys' position when it comes to our community. But nevertheless, like I said, it's very extreme. I was trying to put the presentation together, so I may try to, put this presentation together on the fly. I got some of the slides together, but I want to put proof on the screen to kind of knock down some of the things that they've said. So, family, I'm going to stretch the screen out, and what I want to do is share with you some of their videos that they have shared. I mean, when I say it's out there, it is out there. So before I get started, let me see if I can copy this link here. They done changed up with the back office on StreamYard. Looks like they made some changes here. So I'm going to drop this comment, or should I say link, for if I see my cousin Benaya jump in, or Boom, or Sister Carol, or Berean Scholar. Not sure if he's in the building. I'm going to drop this link. If you guys want to jump on, feel free to do so. But we got a lot to cover. So let me go ahead and drop this link here for you guys. All right. And like I said, I'm going to put this presentation together on the fly. Some of my slides are already intact from me working on it. So that's what caused me to go push the times back. All right. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and play a few of these clips. And want to see what you guys think about this. Let's start off with the first comment. Actually, I'm going to play two videos, start off with two clips right now. The first clip is dealing with this Nick Fuentes, the comments that he make about Africans. And let's see, do I have Candace Orange response? Yeah, I have a response. But we're going to start off with playing a couple of clips here, maybe 3 clips, just so that way you could get the full understanding of what was said and why it's so offensive. Here we go.
Well, I think it's more nature than people would like to believe. There's this classic tension of, is it nature, is it nurture, is it cultural, or is it intrinsic, is it racial? And I've always been on the latter side of this among conservatives. Conservatives like to say it's all culture. Black America is the way it is because of hip hop music and the Great Society and that kind of stuff. And I think the uncomfortable reality is a big part of it is intrinsic. One of the big arguments against the abolition of slavery in the 1860s is that You know, when Europeans colonized Africa, they hadn't discovered the wheel. There's no two-story buildings.
That's crazy. No wheel? No two-story buildings? I wonder if they had fire. Nah, probably would have got dark. Because all you could see was eyes and teeth.
There's no recorded history. They didn't have writing.
So Egypt is not in Africa?
Well, Egypt is a different race.
You know what? A lot of people think all of Africa is nothing but sub-Saharans. Yeah. Hold on. Black folks. Like, but it's a continent. Yeah, sub-Saharan, below the Sahara in Africa, is primarily Negroes. Yeah, my people. Well, 50% of me, yeah. But north of the Sahara, it's more Arabic. Like these are Egyptian girls.
My name is Shayma Yusuf. Where are you from? America. I speak Arabic.
No, Lala no.
I speak English. You speak English?
Yes.
Yes, I love America.
Oh, thank you. We love Egypt. We love Egypt.
America.
My name's Lisa. Lisa.
What's your name?
And you're going to post in the picture with us?
I speak Arabic.
You do very good English. Hi.
The Arabic. And there's black people, well, we label them as black here in America that have that skin tone, but they're actually mixed. Mm-hmm. They're biracial. Most of them are biracial. Yeah. Like, it's not common to see, like, us in Africa and sub-Saharan unless some white dude, like, hey, Keith, they get it, penetrated a sub-Saharan woman. Yeah, that's crazy, man. So if they didn't have a will, I know they didn't have no fire. No, they couldn't. If they don't have two-story buildings, think they advanced it enough to spark flames?
There's no writing. There's no written language. Missionaries had to go to Africa in the last century and invent it for the...
That's crazy. No written language. No writing. Maybe they'd be like this. Hey, can't be still, girl. Maybe they was more advanced. Maybe they got no language. Maybe they had telepathy. They could read each other's minds. But some of them got some big foreheads. Maybe they got some telepathy going. Yeah.
So, family, I'm going to go ahead and give them the Hollywood Shuffle Award before we get started. These guys, I mean, it's just a complete disgrace. A complete disgrace. And they have a very large channel, a couple of million subscribers, but you can see why. You can see why. You can see who sponsors them and so forth. But I'm going to give them this award, the Hollywood Shuffle Award. And I'm going to bring my Sister Carol in. Let me give them the Hollywood Shuffle Award.
I don't know why we leaving Mouse's house. He been good to us. He feed us on Saturday, clothes us on Sunday, and then beat us on Monday. Or was it Tuesday? I don't know.
Jasper, I just want to go out of the house again to Jasper.
What?
Jasper, don't you want freedom? We going to Promised Land. The Promised Land.
Promised Land? Cleveland?
No, Jasper.
Baltimore?
No, Jasper, the Promised Land.
Oh, the Promised Land.
And I also saw a recommendation to give them the Meow Award. So I'm going to give them the Meow Award as well as we get ready to get started here. Let me give them the Meow Award as well. So yeah, family, those guys and others like him, like the pastor that I played, and touched on the past couple of weeks, the guy with the 28 or 2918 church, or what is it? No, 2819 church, Pastor Phillips, the things that he stated about our community, You know, and let me play that real quick. You guys probably remember this right here. Let me play it real quick.
Jesus was not a black man. I saw this well-known preacher on Easter Sunday was saying he was preaching that Easter Sunday, Resurrection Sunday, the death, burial, and resurrection that they preach about was all about the persecution of a black man, and that how Jesus was a black man, and that his evidence that Jesus was a black man was because he didn't get a fair trial by the Roman government, and that he used that, begin to manipulate the black men in the room and start declaring no weapon formed against the black men will prosper, and no legal weapon will formed against the black men will prosper, and all of this Marxist, fascist nonsense that he was spewing from the pulpit. And I was watching as men stood up in the room and they're shedding tears over this nonsense, and my heart is broken because I'm thinking, man, what you're hearing right now in this moment is not even consistent with the word of God. I know some of you got him hanging on your wall, a black man with locks, but Jesus was not a black man. We know from history and we know from the word of God that Jesus was an ethnic Jew, and he was born into a family of ethnic Jews, and he was raised around the Torah, and he learned the things of Jewish family, and he went into the synagogue as was his custom, and he fulfilled the law because he came to do that, and he came to his own first, the people of Israel, the Jewish race.
And let me play this other portion of it.
But some of us use our race as idolatry. I don't care. Black people do that. White people do that. We exalt our race as a form of idolatry. Jesus was not a black man. He was an ethnic Jew and had skin like brass and hair like wool. And had skin like brass and hair like wool.
And had skin like brass and hair like wool.
And so let me give him this award that I haven't pulled out in a while, but let me give it to him. All right. All right, sis, I see you in the back. I know you got some things to say as we build on these clips that I shared with you guys. I mean, with the channel here, those that are watching, a lot that was said. You know, you can see that, you know, there's an agenda behind what you've heard. So what's your thoughts as we get ready to get into it?
Hey, bro. Well, the Hodge twins, which is what their name is. I've ran across them on Instagram about 3-4 years ago, and they are clickbait artists. They like sensationalism. They love to hype up whatever the opposite is going on with us and make us be the victim into everything, and how we are beggars of problems. And they can't understand why Black people always put themselves in this position all the time. So they take the counterpart of that and try to ride along this. As you see, he's doing with this video here, mocking what's being said by this Fuentes guy about the continent of Africa and the people there and the civilization there, basically trying to say that white people, if it wasn't for white people, the civilization in Africa wouldn't be what it is today because the white people were the ones that help us to be educated and help us to learn how to read and write and do things. Prior to that, we were primitive people. We couldn't speak. We had no language. We had nothing. And that's the ignorance that was spewed for decades upon decades and centuries, that we were bush people and we were ignorant. Well, we were so ignorant, how did we come over here and do all the things we did in this country? Who taught us agriculture? We already knew how to do that. That's why they captured us, bring us in, because we had the technology, we had that understanding. So while these two fools are saying this, just perpetuating the stereotype, and they're getting paid for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And number of things that they said, family, I'm sure that you caught it. And I was trying to put it all inside my presentation, didn't have time to. but just even some of the notes that I put together here, because one of the things that they claim is that number one, Africans had no wheels
Yes.
and no two-story buildings,
Yes.
no fire.
Yeah.
Right.
All of that.
And the twins, they added to that narrative by the fire portion of it, just mocking our people. Right. And so for those that may not understand, but the wheel was very known among Africa. Right. But the key is, when you start understanding the terrain in many, nations there, like when you start getting into the Congos, the dense forests, you're not going to have a need for wheels trying to navigate through a forest. That's just a fact.
That's common sense.
You know what I mean? But, just that ignorant comment that they made, it's easy to knock down. Now, I would love to have a debate with those guys. I don't normally do the debates. I would love to have a debate with those guys and completely shut down all the ignorant things that they've stated. And then this whole two-story architecture nonsense, well, you could start with Zimbabwe, and you could start, cities like, what is that, Sahelian, when you start dealing with the mud brick cities, you could go right down the list. You could look up Timbuktu, had multi-story structures, and I'm not even going to get into that whole fire nonsense, but, there's a source that you can look up UNESCO, World Heritage Center, and that'll give you some information on what I just pointed out. And then also you have the McBeardy and Brooks, The Revolution That Wasn't, Journal of Human Evolution, and that has some of the information there as well. And as far as the languages, right? Matter of fact, no writing. Before I address that, any comments, sis?
No, keep rolling.
Even with the languages, no writing. Now, family, those that have been following me for a while, especially when we start dealing with the First African Baptist Church down in Savannah, Georgia, you guys already know I done identified multiple languages on the pews down in Savannah, and I have some of the images. I'll see if I have enough time to put it inside this presentation on the different languages in Africa. It says, I'm not sure I'm hearing a little feedback on your end.
Let's see. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better. That's better.
I still hear it on my side.
Okay. So, family, for starters, and matter of fact, before I answer this, get into the language, the written writings, when they made this claim of no ancient writings there, let me let you hear Candace Owens' response to him when he made that comment, and listen to how he tried to move the goalpost. Right. So let me go in and play it right now. Let me see here. Let me get that clip here. Let me see here. Got it right here. Peep this out.
Look at that abomination. I'd seen it all. I seen a couple of Negroes with blue eyes walk around with the Velcro hair. Yeah, but Northern Africa, it's still in Africa. Yeah, but they're totally different race of people. Yeah, totally different race. It's like night and day, literally.
Egyptians were not black.
Okay, but you said when they went to Africa, so I just want to...
The interior of Africa in the late 19th century, scrambled for Africa.
So we're now knocking Egypt out of Africa.
Well, Egypt is part of northern Africa, sub-Saharan
Africa. You said Africa, so I'm not trying to get a gotcha. I'm just responding. You're saying Africa.
Sure. Yeah.
It's in Africa. It's Egypt. It's kind of ridiculous to say there was no written language. Well, so I'm just trying to get you to
sure. Egyptians are not Africans.
If I'm not pushing back, the internet will. So
Egyptians are not racial Africans. When I say African, I'm saying sub-Saharan African.
Sub-Saharan, okay.
Black people because it is a different race. In sub-Saharan Africa, and Europeans did not penetrate that until the late 19th century. They didn't have any of this. To the extent that you have infrastructure in Africa, it's from the Muslims in the Sahel and the Maghreb in northern Africa, where the Arabs colonized. And then you had, Carthage and Egypt. You had ancient civilizations. But sub-Saharan Africa, they didn't have that.
So you heard what he said, right? And you hear the narrative, especially when you start understanding like the anthropologists of like the 17th, 18th, the 19th century races, right, of wanting to classify the ancient Egyptians as being another race, right, and want to say that they are basically extensions of the white race. So even the institution of race is a modern construct, right? And the sole purpose is to do like what Josephus made note of what the Greeks were doing, the Romans were doing, and that was, he says, I'm getting a lot of feedback on your end. So, you know, hijacking the heritage of countries or nations that they conquered and placing their names on top of it, Greek names and you know, Roman names, to give the impression that they are the originator of whether it's language, whether it's culture, whatever the case may be. So when we start dealing with the institution of race, we know that is a modern construct to do the same. And the sole purpose is to place them, when I say them, the Europeans, at the top, you know, to create a whole new social identity and put us at the bottom of that, right? So now when we start looking at race, you know, this is a modern construct, and then they use that to backdate and then rewrite history, right? Fact, the ancient Egyptians, we already know the ancient Egyptians and who they are. And I'm going to, you know, pull some sources here as we build here. But that's what, you know, want to classify them as being another race, as if, hey, you know what, because they have intelligence, well, you know what, they'll take them, but the rest of Africa, kick it aside. Family, as I pointed out, when we start dealing with written languages, okay, you have, of course, the Medu Neter, which is, you know, when we deal with Kemet, you know, from, you know, like 3,200 years BCE. And then you have the Meroitic script, which is Sudan in 300 BCE. And when you start understanding Sudan, I'm not sure if many of you guys are aware that there's pyramids all through the Sudan, and writings that still to this day haven't been deciphered. Then, of course, you have Gaaz in the modern, today they call it Ge'ez or Ge'ez, which is an Ethiopian Shemitic language. And guess what? If you really understand Ethiopia or Kush extended well beyond what you see today on the modern maps. It went all the way over to the territories of India. That's a fact. And if you read the first chapter of Esther, it gives clarity to that. So Africa was much larger than what you see on the map. It's much larger. So the Levant, that entire area, sits on the tectonic plate of Africa. That is a fact. So these are the things that they don't tell you, but this is how they start trying to rewrite history. This is how they start trying to use modern constructs and then backdate it so that to try to justify their narrative. Right. And then another language that I pointed out, and matter of fact, Ge'ez is on the pews in First African Baptist Church. It's on there. I proved it. Right. You have Solatreo, right? Ladino, which that's when you start getting into the Spanish version of Hebrew on those pews. You also have Hebrew writings on the pews, far as the block letters or the Syriac block letters. You have that on the pews. But also what I showed that was on the pews as well, which is another language, which is the Nsibidi language. Now I'll try to bring some of these images over, which that language, of course, in the Nigerian area, the West Africa area, the Cameroon area, and that language, that writings date back at least 500 BCE. You know, and I could go right down the list, right? You have what is called Tefinag, right? Hopefully I didn't butcher that, but nevertheless, 2,500 years. You have a language called Vi and Ko, right? You know, when you start getting into all these different languages, it's plenty of languages or writing systems that just what I just named to you right off the top to completely debunk the foolishness that you just heard. All right. Let me bring Sister Carol back in. I know she got kicked out because of the sound that she was trying to adjust her mic, but let me bring her back in.
Okay, I'm back.
All right.
To switch devices.
You know you're trying to use your old Nokia phone.
Of course. No,
You know,
Motorola.
yeah, you're trying to go all the way back, and
Motorola Flip from 1992 with the antenna in the back.
Exactly, or the suitcase phone that they call
Okay,
the brick.
The brick. There you go.
So I'm not sure if you were able to still listen to some of the things that I pointed out, but just highlighting some of the languages and also the written languages, dating back 2,000-3,000 years ago at least.
That's
documented. And then
documented.
also pointing out that what many don't know is Africa extended onto the other side of that Indian Ocean to India.
That's right.
That those territories, over half of India was Ethiopia.
Correct.
And that's a fact, family. And again, what is called the Levant, right? That whole area is Northeast Africa. All of that was called Africa. All right. Any comments, sis?
No, you're absolutely right. And this information is documented. It's not hard to go find. It's almost insulting when these people say these things when you can actually go look it up now. Information is no longer hidden. If you want to go find it, you can go find it. It's people who want to continue pushing the ignorance agenda, like these two are doing, is what causes the problem, where people who will not go look. But you're absolutely right in everything, especially the languages. That information is definitely out there. You can go to ChatGPT and ask that question, and it will give you that information.
Absolutely. And family, it's just that straightforward. And Sister Carol, I've been covering this for years when I was dealing with the pews.
That's right.
And got a lot of pushback, of those that was trying to say that I was wrong, only for them to have their so-called sources to prove that I've been right the whole time.
But wouldn't concede and say so.
Exactly. Didn't want to admit that I was right. But still, their own sources, their own professors and so forth had confirmed exactly what I had stated years prior.
Correct.
And family, I'm putting I just put a slide together real quick. I'm going to show you, for example, the Nsibidi language that is on the pews in Savannah, Georgia. Let me pull that up here. All right. Right. This is Nsibidi, right? And let me see if I could pull up, cut and paste this. Well, actually, let me do a couple of more. But this is the Nsibidi language. And some of these symbols are on the pews. And Nsibidi, these are not only, it's far more symbols than this, but this is also a secret language of symbols that our ancestors wrote to communicate with each other. And what you'll see, not proved on that's on the pews, you'll see this image here, these what looks like a check mark here. Let me see if I can zoom that in. Oops. Let me back up here. Right? These tracks right here. Also, this here, this is on the pews. This is on the pews. Right? It's a few of these symbols that are on the pews. I can say emphatically this here, as far as prevent danger, Nsibidi mirror, and also this symbol right here that means tracks is on the pews. Right? some of these others are on there as well, but ones that I can definitely identify, this right here, this right here, and this right here. And I'll bring up a slide with me confirming that. All right. Any comments, sis?
If you remember in the Black Panther movie, the king's throne that he sat on, you can see the hieroglyphic letterings, exactly similar letterings that you're showing right now, symbols we're showing right now, were around his crown of his chair. Same
Yeah.
languages,
Yep.
right in our faces. And you also can see some of these same symbols in the Hebrew, in the pictogram.
Exactly. Exactly. You can
Hands
see
up.
the quap.
Yep.
You know, go ahead, sis. I'm sorry for cutting you
No,
off.
no, go ahead. No, go ahead. You're right.
Go ahead, go for it. I'm still, you're helping me get my additional
Slides together.
images here that I'm
Right.
copying right now. So
But I mean, these symbols are universal. And the Phoenicians, as well as the Hebrews, they all spoke the same language. That's how they communicated. And they used pictogram in order to speak to each other. And these languages were passed on and passed on. Then they were taken and then they were translated transliterated into other languages. But the foundational language of it all were pictograms that we're looking at right now, hieroglyphics. The Egyptians and the Hebrews, as well as Phoenicians, all spoke the same language in communication. There's some variation of dialect, but it was basically the same language. And it was universal pictograms that they understood. And we brought those symbols and languages here to this country. Because if you started noticing, when they started digging up things, they found pictograms carved into stones and rocks. How did they get there?
absolutely, absolutely. And family, I'm gonna show a couple more slides here as I copy some of these images over from a folder that I have. But let me show you here, and I'll put Ge'ez up on here as well. But let me show you some additional languages that's there in Africa. Right, this is too easy, too easy. So this is more of the Nsibidi symbols,
Mhm.
right? So these are more that then it's far more than what you even see in these this image that I have here. But you can see, to Sister Carol's point, you can see, like, for example, when I said the quap, this
Mhm.
looks like the quap right here. The tha right here. It's so you can see some of the symbols here. And let me zoom in here so you can kind of see some of the additional symbols here. All right. And some of these are on the pews.
Yep.
And I'll show you an example of one that I transliterated.
Especially the
Right?
ones
So,
at the top you just showed.
yeah.
You've seen those before.
Yeah. And here's some additional languages here. So, symbols. So this is how they communicated with each other. Now, on the surface, to those that are not familiar with this, like the Europeans, this is going to look like scribble scrabble to them.
Mm-hmm.
Because the way that they wrote it, to try to make sure that they couldn't pick up on what they were writing, that they were actually writing an actual language, a spoken language written down. All right. So let's see here. Let me show you another one here. Now, this is what I mentioned as well. This is called the, the Vi. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. But this is one of the languages that I've researched here, Vi or Nko. These are some of the additional images right here. And you'll find this in West Africa. So these are some of the symbols that I researched, when I was doing my research on the pews, right? I got others. I got a book here, and I'll get it here. It's on my other side of my desk. But I got this book literally for what is it, $5, sis, from a what you call it, a garage sale. I just pulled up and saw this book there. I was like, hey, what's this book right here? Asked them if they were selling. They say, yeah. And looking in it, it has some additional symbols, like you said, some of the universal symbols.
Mm-hmm.
So, family, don't let these guys or anyone try to insinuate as if we didn't have any languages, written languages, like these knuckleheads tried to play insinuate. And matter of fact, let me zoom in a little bit, because you can see. All right, let me switch screens. All right, and you'll see some of these symbols right here that looks familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see here. Did I click on the right one? Oops, wrong one. Let me go back here. All right. You see some of these symbols look familiar.
Yep.
You can see some of the Hebraic influence on here.
Yep. Absolutely.
That looks similar to the letter that we saw in the pew, right? That the main pew, but it reversed.
The curse. Right.
But some of these symbols are on the pews. So I'm just scrolling through, family, so you can get a clear view of some of these images. All right. So this completely knocks down some of the foolishness that those guys stated. Let me see if I can. I'm going to see if I can pull in one of the pews real quick here as well. As a matter of fact, let me copy got eyes in here so you guys can see how that look as well. You guys probably remember this, but let me pull it in here. Like I said, I when I say I did extensive studies and research on this, wasn't something that I just out of just did spent like 5 minutes on. No, I was studying this for years, studying multiple languages for years. All right, let me see here. Where's my guy eyes? Oh, here it is. Oops. My mouse is acting up now. Come on. Come on now. Now it's Microsoft make me sick, man, sometimes.
I said Commodore computer.
All right, let's see here. Where's my guy? Let me close some of these windows out. All right, let's try this again. All right, let me copy this over. So this is the Ga'az and the Sabine or Saba'an language, because again, like ancient Hebrew, some of you guys may not be aware of, ancient Hebrew did not have all these different vowels that you see today. Those are our interpolations. All right, but let me copy this over here. All right. And let me share this on the screen. Where are we? Okay, let's see here. All right, can you guys see that?
Yes.
All right, and as you can see, the pronunciation of these letters. A, ba, ga, da, za, ta, ya, ka, la, ma, sa, ka, ra, wa, za, ha, na, sa, ta, fa. So this is a Shemitic language.
Mm-hmm.
But they, as you heard in the video clips that I played for you or shared with you, they said that there's no written languages.
Right.
And we're just proving that they are completely wrong.
In fact, according to them, they grunted
Yeah.
noises like cave people,
Yeah.
Neanderthals.
And let me see here. Let me see if I can pull up my other one here. Let me just pull up, show you guys a little bit of the Nsibidi language in one of the pews. I'm not going to get into this too detailed and more in depth with it. Rather, not going to get too deep with it. Let's see here, and I'm just going to copy this over. And I also copied over some of the solo trail. Matter of fact, let me switch slides here. It'll be easier for me to do that. I don't feel like doing all this cut and paste and stuff. All right. Just trying to make the brother work here. All right. Let's see here from current slide. Let me switch this over real quick. And where are we? All right. I'm going to share this here, family. All right. Let me remove this. All right. Where is it? That's not it. All right, where is it? That's not it. All right, there we go. All right. So this is Nsibidi, right? And some of you guys probably recognize some of these patterns because you see this on like some of the old quilts. You even see this on a lot of garments, as far as African garments and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, coming to America, the garments that you saw them wear, the patterns and all, that's Nsibidi. And actually it was a Nigerian, I can't remember her name, that actually did all the designs for the outfits in that movie. But nevertheless, this is Nsibidi. All right. And remember I said about this symbol right here that's on, let me see do I have it here? Let me see if I have it here. No, it's not there. All right. But nevertheless, let me go back here. So this is Nsibidi. And so Nsibidi is an ancient system of graphic communication indigenous to the Ejigam people of southeastern Nigeria and southwestern Cameroon in the Cross River region. It is also used by neighboring Ibibio, Efiki, and Igbo peoples. Aesthetically compelling and encoded. Nsibidi does not correspond to any one spoken language. It is an ideographic script whose symbols refer to abstract concepts, actions, or things, and whose use facilitates communications among peoples speaking different languages. All right. And this is just a source here. This is a great source that's actually explaining some of the symbols that I share with you guys. I'm not going to read all of this, but let me fast forward here. But it's really explaining the source that I shared with the whips. And those three squiggly lines that you'll see on the pews means men with whips. So let me fast forward. I'm just fast forwarding through here. All right. This is one of the pews that I transliterated, this section right here. But let me go to a key pew, right? And this is some of the solatreo that you see on the pews that looks like an Arabic type of writing that's on the pews. Okay. But let me go to and his name is Dr. David Bunis. Judaismo is his one of the sources that I use, and that's this source right here that's explaining. But I want to get to a key point. Let me see if I could get there. I want to show you these squiggly lines. This is where I want to get to. All right, these squiggly lines right here, right? Prevent danger, right? And we see that here, prevent danger. And the source that I share with you went even deeper, showing, this one means whip, and other men with whips together. And, just really broke that down. All right. So those are the squiggly lines that you'll see on the pews. All right. These three symbols together means prevent danger from the overseers who carry whips and make trouble. That's what these three lines together means on those pews. All right. And when you see Nsibidi on some of the pews, that gives you an idea of what that pew is, the message on that pew. All right. Let me see here. Was another example here. You see right here, these symbols right here, tracks. I purposely blurred out the writings here because I didn't want to explain that writing as well. But I just want to show you that there is Nsibidi on those pews. All right. In the cluster, what appears to look like Syriac block letters, the Kaf, right? This symbol means trek, journey, voyage, tracks. All right. So, like I said, when you go back here, and I'm just showing you the pew. I'm not going to go through all of this, but let me go to the pew with all the writings together. Let's see here. All right. Actually, I'm just going into the Judaismo Solatreo, but that's this pew right here, the three squiggly lines. This is a word. These are actually two words right here. All right. And this right here is Nsibidi symbol right here. Okay. So nevertheless, just wanted to show you guys. Any thoughts, sis? Didn't want to go to geek mode on this here, but just want to, let the people know that, hey, we know what we're doing. We know what we're talking about. And what those guys pointed out was absolute lies.
Absolutely. We had a language. We not only had a language, we understood math, we understood science, we understood agriculture. We were educated people. So those resources came to this country. We were already educated. We just didn't understand their language. There lies the issue. We didn't understand the language that they were speaking, but we understood the language that we spoke among each other, which is why we had to communicate in different ways when we needed to get information out to one another, be it through the hair, a quilt, on the ground, scraps of material, whatever they could use to communicate secretly. But their ignorance in that video is just obvious what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. And let me give a shout out real quick. I see a super chat here. Let me see here. Cowpoke Ranch. Let's see here. The first majorly advanced civilization on Earth were the Egyptians, whose ancient modern ethnic makeup is Nubians, blacks. Anyone who denies this is lying. So, of course, that's what they're going to. They want to. Their way of trying to get around who they are is by trying to say that they are a different type of people, a different race, not just with them, the Ethiopians, the Libyans, right? They want to say that they are dark people, but they are descended from white people, basically.
Right.
That's what they basically trying to say.
Correct.
So I want to give a shout out to you. Thank you for the love and support. Family, let's show them some love as well. We also have Soe Boom. Thank you for the super stickers, SOE Boom. Really appreciate the love and support. All right. And family, let's show them some love for their contributions tonight. And again, really appreciate the love and support. All right. So I'm not going to read this source here. This source is basically proving that the Chaldeans were Negroes. But you guys probably remember this source right here. I'm going to the source. This is from last week. This is dealing with the ancient Israelites. But I want to go to a key source here. I'm just fast forwarding here, showing that the Israelites look like you and I. But let me go to a key portion of this source here. All right. Actually, let me scroll up a little bit. These are some of the images of the Egyptians that's in the British museums, like these images right here of the ancient Israelites. But let's go here. Amenhotep the third, right? This is a Negro. This is not Caucasian, right? And you'll see this in the museums that they really don't share. You don't see these images. You see the whitewashed images, right? Queen Ty. You don't see these images, right? You'll see, again, watered down images. You guys remember this? This is another image of Queen Ty, right? And you see the features, you see the hair. Let me fast forward here. Nefertari, 18th dynasty. You see how she looked, but what you see that they have presented is this bust. You remember that bust that they created, to make it look like she's a Caucasian. No, this is actually who she is right here. All right. This is Dame Ray, who is a nurse and a nursemaid to the queen. And you see her appearance as well. Don't look like what we're seeing, the whitewashed images that we see. All right. Let me see. This source right here goes even, goes into the details, showing who's who. But this is the National Museum of Natural History letter. This is Anthro's notes. And look at what it says, family. It says here, the roots of ancient Egypt. Who are the Egyptians? Should the origins of their magnificent achievement be sought in the Middle East or in Africa? Were they themselves white or black? These questions have been disputed by scholars since the beginning of written history. Most recently, anthropological studies of human remains from Northeast Africa, together with new archaeological evidence from Egypt and Nubia, offer us a new understanding of Egyptian origins in which Africa played a major role. On page, still on the same page here, look at what it goes on to say. It says here, early writers described the Egyptians as dark-skinned, woolly-haired, and it's given Herodotus, with origins in or close ties to the ancient peoples and cultures of Ethiopia. So saying that, making a comparison with the Ethiopians, similar to what the scripture says about us, the Israelites. You had Diodorus of Sicily, making that comparison as it gives a source here. So it goes on to say, in the 18th century, ancient Egyptian civilization was rediscovered by travelers, in other words, plunderers from Europe, whose view of the ancient Egyptians was drawn largely from Egyptian art in the absence of scientific archaeology, right? Archaeology, yeah. Or a code for deciphering hieroglyphics written. After reviewing the undamaged profile of the Sphinx, which the French author de Volney described as Negro in all its features, he wrote, just think that the race of black men today, our slave and the object of our scorn, is the very race to which we owe our arts, sciences, and even the use of speech. So this shuts down those twins and that ignoramus Fuentes, all of those guys, they're ignorant, right? So it goes on to say, humanity that one has approved the most barbarous slavery and question whether black men have the same kind of intelligence as whites. All right. Any comments, sis?
Hey, it speaks for itself.
Come on, family.
We already know this.
It's easy to debunk these guys.
Yes, it is.
So when they get into this, the Egyptians is another race right? You know, you guys remember the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, and you know, many of our brothers and sisters will go in there, because I've gone in there not from a perspective saying that we're the people using that entry with Ham. I'll show that it says not the Negro, but then I'll go over to Shem, and it doesn't list anything there about us under Shem.
Correct.
Right, but it mentions Ham being the progenitor of the dark races. It lists Libya. It lists Ethiopia. It lists Egypt. It lists those different countries, but it says not the Negro. Well, the truth of the matter is, because they viewed us as being beasts.
Correct.
And that's what this source right here is. That's what Nick Fuentes and those twins, who's, you know, I mean, all over the place. This is where they get their information from.
They even acted it out.
Go ahead, sis.
I said they acted it out with the ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, we always got to be extra. Always got to be extra. So before I go into this, listen to what what's his name? I can't think of his name. Dyson, is that his name?
Oh, Eric Dyson.
Eric Dyson. Not Eric Dyson. The scientist. Neil. I always mess his name up. But listen listen to this interesting interaction that he's having with Vlad on Vlad TV.
Oh,
listen to the interaction here.
I remember you did an interview recently where you talked about some of the, you know, the racist things that people said about black people and monkeys and so forth. But you said when you actually scientifically look at white people, you know, monkeys are hairy. White people are the hairiest people
on earth.
On earth. I am really hairy. Like, seriously.
I don't shave.
No, I shave all. I'm shaving.
I don't.
Now.
I
got hair on my back,
coming up
my chest is all hairy.
The hair coming up
hair on my ears,
collar. Okay,
I got, you know,
these were highly overlooked similarities.
Yeah, the big ears. White people usually have big ears.
Bigger ears around.
Monkeys have thin lips. White people, I have thin lips.
Yes.
So really, I look more like a monkey than anyone else. But you know, but then there's the whole racist stereotype that you know, to this day still go.
The 19th century anthropologist is probably the most racist period in the most racist branch of science there ever was.
Right. So you guys caught that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, which we already knew that. We've been talking about that for a while, right? So listen to how, you know, what's his name? Vlad made mention to the comments that he made saying, hey, they want to come up with all these images trying to insult us about being apes and, you know, all that, primates and all, when actually they look more like them than anyone. You know, I got a video that I'm working on. I may try to upload it Monday or Tuesday that goes into the, the Neanderthal.
Yep.
Showing that you won't find that inside our blood, inside our DNA.
Nope.
Even though they tried to come up with some modern things to try to make it as if the Neanderthals were in Africa. No, you won't find them in our blood.
Nope.
You know, so I got some videos I'm going to upload about that. But again, the Negro a beast, and you'll see here that they give their what they believe about who's who. Let me go to this quick this point here. Again, the Negro is a beast, but created with a articulate speech and hands, that he may be of service to his master, the white man. All right, let me go to, and right here, the Negro, not the son of Ham. Neither can it be proven by the Bible, and the argument of the theologian who would claim such melts to the mist before the thunderous and convincing arguments of this masterful book. So we know that we're not descendants of Ham, we're descendants of Shem.
Right.
But guess what? They all were dark skinned at that time. Period. And for those that want to talk about Philistines, right? The original Philistines or Palestines, right? You'll see them listed as being a Hamitic people. That's in Genesis chapter 10 under Ham. You'll see Philistia, I believe that's the term. You'll see that there. But nevertheless, let's go to this key point. I don't want to read all of this, but I want to go to a key point. Look at here, chapter 3. Just look at here the topic here, or should I say the title or subtitle here. The theory of evolution exploded. Man was created a man. It did not develop from an ape, right? But they want to give the approach as if we were developed or created at the same time as the apes on the same day, the 5th day. They even have it in this book. And they consider any of white people or their people, so to speak, having relationships with our people. They called it bestiality. So when we approach the modern Christian, no, I'm not going to read all that. I don't feel like reading all that, sis. You see here. But I want to get to a key point here. So the phrase "not the Negro" and "not the forefathers of the Negroid race" alludes to the Negro not being connected to Adam or what is called the Adamic bloodline. The phrase is stating that the Negro is not part of the human race, but a beast. Zondervan's definition of Ham is expression of the supposed purity of white. All right. So he became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians. Well, look at what this entry say about the Egyptians. I'm not going to read the Ethiopians and Canaanites because it's all similar, but look at what it says about the Egyptians. Many of these mixed-blooded nations, such as the Chinese, Hindus, Egyptians, etc., have preserved more or less the literature of their white ancestors. A careful investigation of their literature reveals the fact that their remote ancestors, I didn't put it all in here. So in a nutshell, the Negro Abyss author Cass Carroll believed that the Egyptians were initially pure-blooded white. Same thing for the Ethiopians. I'm not going to read all of this, right? Same thing for the, as you see, the Ethiopians, the Canaanites, right? The Libyans and the Canaanites, they believing that all of these, what they deemed to be civilized nations, that they all descended from white people. Any comments, sis?
It's about right. And that's how they're pushing it. Because if you notice, any type of dark-skinned person, Indian, any people from that region have dark skin, they are classified as Caucasian.
Yeah.
That's what they put down on their ethnicity racial code, Caucasian. They don't put down Indian. They put down Caucasian. So that's about right.
Yeah. And fam, look at this right here. In the Epistle of Jude, we find not only the most positive proof that Cain's partner in sin was a female, but that she was not of Adamic flesh. It will be observed that Jude at once arraigns the men of his day on the charge of amalgamation, in other words, giving themselves over to fornication, going after strange flesh. So referring to basically saying Cain was messing with strange flesh, in other words, the Negro. Similar to what the Jews have in their Talmud about strange creatures, and comparing us to apes and monkeys with tails. All right, let's see here.
Interesting
look
enough.
At this right here. What was that, sis?
But interesting enough, that comment you just made, the last things about the tails. If you will go Google right now, Caucasians born with tails,
You
He
will
says
see.
you're breaking up. Can't really make out what you're
I
saying.
know. Let's do it again. I was saying if you would go to Google and Google Caucasians with tails, it will show you babies and men, grown people, actually born with tails.
Yeah.
Where they have to cut them off at the time of birth. Some do not cut them off, some will keep them on and live with them. They do have tails that are attached to their bodies when they're born. But they want to call us beasts with tails.
Yeah. And I read up on that too, and it's common.
It's
More than
very
what people
common.
think.
It's very, very common. Which is why I think they reversed it on us because they knew what was happening to them. So they put that on us, saying that we're the ones who have that, when it's actually them who are being born like that.
And also too, family. Well, matter of fact, as you see here, before I make my point here, because I want to forget to make this key point that they meant on something that they mentioned. But Cain's shameless crime in cultivating sexual relations with a beast had rendered him unfit for the companionship of a pure woman. This stuff is crazy.
It's real crazy. Wow.
Let me see here.
What kind of deranged mind individual would put this in a book?
Yeah. Yeah. Look at this. Cain in the relationship of husband all his life long to this beast, and forever debarred him from holding sexual relations with women. Hence the beautiful Adamic women or woman who in all her virgin loveliness would have been the wife of Cain, would now become the wife of his brother Abel. And his jealous rage upon realizing this, just crazy. You know what I mean?
It's just too much.
Just straight crazy. All right, family. So that's where you get the source from. This is the source or part of that belief during the time of as Dyson mentioned, or Tyson rather mentioned about the anthropologists during the 19th century, the 18th, 19th century, with the agendas that they had. Right. And so let me give some shout outs here. It looked like I see some additional super chats. Let's see here. Conservative Cowpoke. I see you posted some additional ones. Them folks are so blank. Let's not use any curse words. Appreciate this super chat, but let's be respectful with our choice of words, because people are watching us and they're looking for anything that they can to try to throw shade at us and try to restrict what we're doing. But nevertheless, delusional and worthless that they literally try and claim the ancestry and achievements with African nations and twisted it. It's twisted. Absolutely it is. You're absolutely correct on that. Absolutely correct. Then also he writes, the book of Enoch says white people are the hybrid of offsprings of a demon and human woman called the Nephilims, said to have white skin, red and blonde hair. Yeah, I'm not going to get into all that. That's a whole nother discussion, that in itself. But again, appreciate the super chat. And thank you for taking the time out to watch the video tonight. Really appreciate it. And your interactions. All right. Donna Nichols, thank you for the love and support. And family, let's show them our contributors tonight. Let's show them some love and support. Really appreciate you all. All right. So the other point that I want to make, and I didn't put the slide in here, I may try to put it in here while Sister Carol buy me time, but the mention of Arabic or Arabs in Egypt, right? So let me play that video clip real quick so that way you guys can kind of get an idea of exactly what they said. So I'm gonna play it real quick so you can hear from the horse's mouth of what they say about the Egyptians.
There's no recorded history. They didn't have writing.
So Egypt is not in Africa.
Well, Egypt is a different race.
You know what? A lot of people think all of Africa is nothing but sub-Saharans. hold on, black folks. Like, but it's a continent. Yeah, sub-Saharan, below the Sahara in Africa, is primarily Negroes. Yeah, my people. Well, 50% of me, yeah. But north of the Sahara, it's more Arabic. Like these are Egyptian girls.
My name is Shaima Yusuf. Where are you from?
America.
I speak Arabic.
No. Lala's all I know.
I speak English. You speak English?
Yes, yes.
Yes, I love America.
Oh, thank you. We
What's
love
your
Egypt.
name?
We love
I love
Egypt.
America.
My
What's
name's
your
Lisa.
name?
Lisa.
What's your name?
And you're going to post in the picture with us?
What? I speak Arabic.
You do very good English. Hi.
The Arabic. And there's black people, well, we label them as black here in America that have that skin tone, but they're actually mixed. Mm-hmm. They're biracial. Most of them are biracial. Yeah. Like, it's not common to see, like, us in Africa and sub-Saharan unless some white dude, like, hey, Keith, they get it, penetrated a sub-Saharan woman.
Wow.
Family, go ahead, sis.
I had to get my words together if I start talking after hearing that foolishness. It's just the ignorance of what he just said about the sub-Saharan, you think the whole continent of Africa is the sub-Saharan Negroes like myself, or 50% of myself, down the south of the south part of Africa. And only Egyptian people, they're a mixed race of people. No, they're not. A lot of them look like the 1948ers.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're invaded. The whole continent was invaded.
Yeah. Yeah. And to your point, and family, I put some notes here just so that way you guys understand what's going on here. Let me see. Did I go to? Oh man, I'm at the right. All right, here we go. All right, the Arab invasion. For some of you guys that may not be familiar with this, this is some information that I just want to share. And you could go and do your deeper discoveries on this. The Arab invasion of Egypt, right? During the reign of Umar, the second caliph of the Arabs, Arab armies under the leadership of Amir ibn al-As invaded and conquered Egypt in 639 AD. So we're dealing with the Arab invasion, right? And also you have what is called the Ottoman invasion as well. So this is why you see what you see, the current people that you see in those different Arab countries. They're the majority of them are Turks. Okay, that took over those territories from the original people there, and many of them got pushed deeper into Africa. All right, and so when we look at the outlines of ancient Egyptian history, this gives you some additional information on, just what we see, or especially during this time when you start seeing the rulers of a country not looking or being a reflection of the actual people that they're ruling over. And this is one of the things when you start studying like the different dynasties, but one of the earliest dynasty, I think, is the first dynasty with the Egyptians, right? They discovered two types of bodies there, or cadavers, so to speak. One was tall and the other was short, kind of average height. And they discovered that the leadership there, many of those came from the Sumerians who had conquered them. So it's not uncommon that you will see that many cases that the leadership or the ruling party not being a reflection of the people that they're ruling over because of these different invasions. All right. And lastly, too, before I read this here and further prove this here, let me play a clip here about a Negro that was discovered and how this professor or this Egyptian anthropologist, he was really disappointed. He really didn't. He looked like he was about to cry. He really looked like he was about to cry when it was discovered that the person that Shammai, that's his name, was a Negro. Here it is.
But the CT scan has one more surprise for Alejandro. Shammai's ethnicity.
Well, they have just told me that Shammai had Nubian features, which means that their ruling family was probably Nubian, and that was unexpected.
Examining Shammai's anatomy closely, the thickness of his bones and the shape of his nasal cavity, the anthropologists think he was a black African, likely from neighboring Nubia. A huge revelation that challenges the prevailing image of the Egyptian ruling class.
We always thought the ancient Egyptian elites were Mediterranean type, and in this sense, Shammai is representing the society of the frontier, in which different ethnic groups were mixed. At the end, it doesn't matter the color of your skin. Shammai was Egyptian.
So you see, now it doesn't matter, right? It mattered when he thought that they had credible proof that, and his expectation was Shammai was going to be a Caucasian, was going to be a European.
Right.
But when they saw that, wait a minute, Nubia, wait a minute, this changes everything. Now it doesn't matter. Your thoughts, sis?
That's the playbook. That is the playbook. If we can whitewash it, we will. When we can't whitewash it, it doesn't matter. That is the playbook. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
When it comes up dark, it doesn't matter. If it's white, it matters. It's the standard, and you must
Sis,
respect it.
you sound like you want me to play this clip for you.
You know I do.
You really sound like you're trying to give me the hint to do this.
It's really just.
It just doesn't matter. 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 It just
I got up and danced with them when they did it.
But you notice, family, that's what they do. The church does it. I mean, we heard that from the church when you proved that the Messiah is a Negro. It doesn't matter. So now all of a sudden it doesn't matter when it comes to us. But when they are strong in their belief, it then it matters.
That's right.
So and family, like here with this source here, this is further confirming what we're discussing here. 1892, Francois Auguste Ferdinand, excuse me if I'm butchering his name, Mariette, however you pronounce it, but page 28, look at what he says. How often do we see in Eastern monarchies and even in European states a difference of origin between the ruling class to which the royal family belongs and the mass of the people? We need not leave Western Asia and Egypt. We find there Turks ruling over nations to the race of which they do not belong. And I actually have a 1925 video of Egypt, and it doesn't look like the Egypt you see today. All right. So although they have adopted their religion in the same way as the Turks of Baghdad, who are Fens, now reign over Semites, Turanian kings may have led into Egypt and governed a population of mixed origin where the Semitic element was prevalent, if we consider the mixing up of races which took places in Mesopotamia and remote regions. Now they're pointing out the Sumerians and all of that. So the invasions which the country had to suffer, the repeated conflicts of which it was the theater, there is nothing extraordinary that populations coming out of this land should have represented a variety of races and origins. And I don't like that term race and all of that, family. That's still that construct, but still he's confirming what we already pointed out. And then when we have the Journal of Cambrian Archaeological Association, it says this. Mr. Baldwin draws a marked distinction between the modern Mohammedan Semitic population, and notice what it says, modern, and it's still throwing this Semitic term, even though we know that they're not Semitic people. They're Turks, right? Of Arabia and their great Cushite, Hamite, or Ethiopian predecessor. The former, he says, are comparatively modern in Arabia. They have appropriated the reputation of the old race. So saying these Turks, right, these so-called modern Semitic people, even though we know that they're not Semitic people, but these people basically hijacked an identity, a heritage. It says they have appropriated the reputation of the old race and have unduly occupied the chief attention of modern scholars. And so the Ottomans, right, in other words, Turks, invaded Africa in 1543. So you already had the Arabic invasions, but then you have here the Ottoman, which are Turks, right? Because the Arabic invasion, Turks, and they had multiple invasions, right? But then you had the Ottoman invasion, Turks, right? Invaded Africa in 1534 and remained a ruling power in Africa for 4 centuries and established 5 separate administrations in Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, Egypt, and Eritrea. All right. Any comments, sis?
So basically, what you're just showing us is the beginning of how the 1948ers came into power.
Yeah.
That's basically their timeline of how they came into power and where they are today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Their invasions that they did.
That's all it was, family. Invasions, as Sister Carol pointed out.
Mm-hmm.
They are invasions.
Yep.
And here's another clip of what these guys, man, these man. Here's a clip that I didn't play.
B was in
But
bed.
listen to, and I didn't even want to play. I mean, some of the stuff that they were saying, I didn't even make clips of it. That's how bad it was, family. How they were mocking us, right? But here's a clip.
He doesn't think all black people are stupid. He just thinks, has low IQ. He just believes that blacks compared to all other races, it's more widespread low IQ. It's more prevalent. I mean, you got there's some Einstein black people, very, very high IQ, but more on average, you find more low IQ people. Yeah. He's not low IQ people in all races. Yeah, but it's more prevalent in sub-Saharan. Yeah. What else we got?
But
so does that kind of debunk your? No. So 2 dumb people can't produce a smart person.
I believe they can actually.
Yeah.
But
so does that kind of debunk your?
No, because it's rare that happens. But IQ is a heritable trait, so it's unlikely that happens.
Yeah, this dude's all about honesty. People ain't ready for all that. Yeah. I like Nick. Nick's a good dude. I think he's so misunderstood.
I don't know why we leaving Mouse's house. He been good to us. He feed us on Saturday, clothe us on Sunday, and then beat us on Monday. Or was it Tuesday? I don't know.
Jasper, I just want to go. I was a house again, Jasper.
What?
Jasper, don't you want freedom? We going to Promised Land. The Promised Land.
Promised Land? Cleveland?
No, Jasper.
Baltimore?
No, Jasper, the Promised Land.
Oh, the Promised Land.
I had to play that again because being that they're twins, so one for each of them. And someone said, play the meow, give them the meow. Yeah, I'm going to give them the meow because they're twins. I did it once, so they get double. All right, so let me play the meow for them. All right. And family, I got another video I want to play because they really, as you hear them saying sub-Saharan, right? Basically, all they're just trying to say what's below Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they're saying. Anything that's outside of Egypt, and he's trying to say have a low, much
IQ.
lower IQ than anyone else.
Was basically saying that they have a low IQ.
But
Or half of
remember,
them.
he joked about his half side.
Yeah, 50%.
Yeah, to 50%. So he's not saying the other side.
Uh-uh.
You know what I mean? The way that he put it.
Right.
You know, so let me upload a video here. Or actually, I'm just going to stream it here because it was too large. I was trying to get it in, but it was taking too much time if I would have broken it up, and I just didn't have time to do that. So I do have a video I'm going to share that's going to knock this stuff down. And anytime these guys want to have a discussion, feel free to reach out. But let me play a classic video here about the genius gene, so to speak.
No idea what it means.
Let me pause here real quick. So this is a great reference that I'm here. I didn't put his name in here. I forgot the professor's name. He passed away. What is his name? I thought I had it here. But family, let me play this for you. All right. And let me do it this way. So that way, kind of remove some of the bandwidth. All right. Let me play it for you guys here. You know, I still got my dress shirt on, but let me play it for you guys, and you guys can tell me what you think. All right. But listen here.
Now, this pamphlet, most people have no idea what it means. But breaking it down, and after you study it and have it explained to you by a geneticist, a trained geneticist, you will find that they're talking about DNA series. Now, here are the names of these 15 geneticists from around the world: University of Japan, University of China, Yale University is the headquarters of this organization called the American.
Yes, it's breaking up here. I think it's my sources, resources. Let me try to close some stuff out here. Like I said, because of the limitation with StreamYard, I couldn't upload it. Let me see here. I should have opened it up in my other browser. All right, let's try it again to see if this works better. Now, do I have anything else I could close? Yeah, let me close some of these PowerPoints. Let's see. Do I want to close this one? No. All right. These are all the same. All right. Let's try it again. Let's try it again.
American Association for the Advancement of Science, and you see it down there. Now, this was copyrighted in 1996. All right.
Yeah, family, I may have to just upload it. Unfortunately, it's still breaking up. Let me stop it. If it doesn't work, then we'll just bypass it. But what this is doing, let me see, I may have it in the slide here. Because I think I did put it in the slide of what he's referring to. All right. I don't know. I thought I had it here. I got it somewhere here. I just don't remember the name of the slide. I thought I had it here. Let me see. Let me try one more thing. I know I have it, but oh well, family. Yeah, I can't pull it up. Yeah, it's just too large for me to play. I'll try one more thing, sis. What I'm going to do, I'm going to launch another browser. I'm gonna try to see if if it works better in Chrome.
Okay.
So if you could stay in and host. I'm just gonna back out
Okay.
or open up another browser real quick, so just so that way I can see if I can play it here. Let me see here.
Okay.
All right, let's see here.
You guys are cracking me up in the chat.
All right, so took me a second to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Family, let's see here. Let's try this again. All right, let's bring this up. And if it works, great. If not, we'll just have to table it.
that most people have no idea what it means. But breaking it down, and after you study it and have it explained.
All right, is that better?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. So let's go ahead and play this here. I think that's all the way up. All right, family. And let me make sure my audio is good too on my, first with my mic, because sometimes it'll holds up my audio. All right. Yeah. All right. Here we go, family. I'm going to try to zoom it. I mean, stretch it across the screen. If it takes up too much bandwidth, then we'll just keep it like how it is right now. But let me do it right now. All right. Here we go.
But breaking it down, and after you study it and have it explained to you by a geneticist, a trained geneticist, you will find that they're talking about DNA series. Now, here are the names of these 15 geneticists from around the world: University of Japan, University of China. Yale University is the headquarters of this organization called the American Association for the Advancement of Science. And you see it down there. Now, this was copyrighted in 1996. All right. What it said is this, and this is the mind-blowing part. It said that when they tested the orangutan, they found out he only had 3 DNA series. When they tested the gorilla, they found out the gorilla has 4 DNA series. But he's a little smarter than the orangutan. They tested the chimpanzee, which is an ape, and found that he had 5 DNA series. Then they went all into the different races of the world. They went into Europe and tested the DNA series of the English, the French, the German, the Spanish, the Russians, and found they had 6 DNA series. Then they put all of this, what they found from around the world, on a map. And this map really is called the intelligence map of the world, because they tested 116 different human groups and found their DNA series numbers. All of them, all over the world, have 6. And they put the numbers in form of a little flag that you can see on this map. These little flags have a color. And they show, oh, this is upside down. I'm sorry. Yeah. And they show that the English have only 6, and all into Europe, only 6. Went over into Japan and China, and they only have 6. Over into America, which is predominantly European, and they only have 6. Then they came to Africa, and they came to the part of Africa. Now, all the rest of them, they put in little flag colors. Those flag colors are
And real quick, family, that area is Sudan. That's the Nigerian Congo area, the very area, sub-Saharan, that the twins are laughing at, and that Fuentes guy tried to put down. But look at this. Look at the areas that's on the map. Okay. All right. Let me continue.
orange red, if you notice. But when you come to Africa, found out that the African people have 9 DNA series, from here just below the Shanghai Empire down to the foot of Africa. All those 10 nations, of which African Americans descended from one of them. We have 9 DNA series, the greatest possibility of genius in our group. Now it's answered this age-old question. How can a people survive being told they're nothing for 400 years, never allowed to learn that they came from beautiful cities and told they came from a jungle? How could a people survive? How can a people become champions in everything they touch? Because they have 9 DNA series, while the rest of the world has only 6.
Family, that's a mic drop right there. That is a mic
Wow.
drop. That is a mic drop. That is a mic drop. You should be excited off of that. And also, what I want to bring up, I know I mentioned this book right here, the Debunker, right? Of course, I don't like to say use that term Bush, but here it has the Bush Negroes of Dutch Guinea. All right, but look at what it has here. I'm not sure if you guys can see this. Let me see if I can stretch this out here for now. All right, so you can see some of the symbols in this book. This is a written language. A written language. All right. Okay.
That's
Just to
pretty
make
awesome.
sure that you guys understand. Go ahead, Sister Carol.
I said, that's pretty awesome.
And I paid $5 for this book at a garage
Wow.
sale.
Yes, indeed.
And guess what? It was a old white couple.
Of course.
Right?
Of course. Because they're the keepers, the gatekeepers of all the information. We weren't supposed to ever see this.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They wrote this for themselves, not for us.
Absolutely. You hit it on the nail, sis. You hit it on the nail. You know, and again, family, with some of the arguments that they tried to make by trying to elude that the Egyptians is a different race. We already know, I got the sources. I could pull up a book called Black Genesis, and you'll see a guy by the name of Diop, who was a scientist. And, you know, he did a lot. I mean, linguist, but he came up with a test to be able to prove, you know, I think it was like the melanin inside the cadavers, right? And it was 100% accurate. And the Europeans, you know, starting with the gatekeepers over in Egypt, right? They basically ran interference, and they prevented that from happening because of how accurate the test is. All right. But again, you know, Herodotus, Diodorus, and others made it clear the appearance of the ancient Egyptians, and even made reference to them looking similar to the Ethiopians. And pretty much we see how the Israelites is compared to the Ethiopians as well. So, or Cush. All right. Any comments, sis?
No, brother, you summed it up quite well.
All right. And family, let me see. Do I have any more video clips to share before we wrap up? But again, you know, I know I shared a lot and purposely wanted to share a lot, just so that way we give a strong pushback on what you guys witnessed. It was a bunch of nonsense, bunch of nonsense. And this is why it's imperative for you guys not to get caught up in, well, it doesn't matter. No, this is the history that we need to know. This is stuff that we need to know. And for our brothers and sisters, I know we got some in this awakening that don't like to or look down on the term Africa, look down on Hamitic tribes and all this other stuff. Family, when you do that, you actually play right into the hand of these name stealers. Because if you allow them to take Egypt, right, take some of these other ancient territories, then it makes it easier for them to hijack the Israelites, because all these other nations, right? When we look at the scriptures, there is a relationship there, not a pleasant relationship for the most part, but there's a relationship there. You know, Israel and Egypt or Kemet are connected. The Babylonians connected. The Assyrians connected. You know, it's right there. The Persians, there's a connection. So let's not allow or play into the agendas of the powers that be that have enslaved us to try to use this as opportunity and say, hey, I'm not African. Look, we know what Africa is. Africa is a continent. And some of the same ones that don't want to say you from Africa, the continent, are claiming states in this country. Yeah, I'm from New York, or yeah, I'm from even cities. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from Queens. So let's not be contradicting, be very contradictive when it comes to how we disseminate information. Again, Africa is a continent. When we say Israel is in Africa, and technically by that definition, whether you want to say African, whatever, it doesn't necessarily default to saying that I'm a Hemite or you're a Hemite or a Japheth, because Japheth is what? Part of the area. But anyway, any comments, sis, as we get ready to wrap up?
You don't know the invasion people.
You breaking up, sis. Can't really hear you.
The invasion people of 1948, they have not only have they invaded.
He says try to adjust your Dixie cup with the string.
StreamYard is doing this because I switched over to my other iPhone and it's still doing it. I think StreamYard is doing it.
Yeah, it's like really, really choppy. That's what.
Yeah. Strange. When you start talking back, it does it, but when I'm not talking, it's fine. When you start talking back,
yeah, I can't even hear you, sis. I'm trying to make out what you're saying. Right? It's that bad. Wow. I can't even make out what you're saying. Literally, it's like it's really choppy and staticky.
Yeah, it's StreamYard. Oh well.
You got the evil empire phone. You should have a Android.
No Android.
So no, I'm just picking what you says. But anyway, family, really appreciate you guys for tuning in tonight. I know some of the stuff, it was kind of off the cuff, and I know this is not a scheduled live that that I'm doing tonight, but still want to take the time out to give some information. And we'll pick up. I may even do a live tomorrow during Sunday. You know what I mean? But just wanted to do a live tonight just to kind of give some pushback and show you that there's something special about us. Those guys that the twins and that Fuentes guy, those guys clearly don't know what they're talking about. We proved, even with the source that this doctor, I can't remember his name, but nevertheless, he proved with sources, and I have that source, that the higher probability of someone being a genius, it comes through our people, and the areas that was marked on that map is in the very areas that those guys wanted to throw shade on. So with that being said, family, just remember, as I always say, there's something special about you, Judah. There's something special about you, Israel. And as the final words of encouragement that I want to share with you guys, Exodus chapter 14, verse 13 to 14, when Israel was at what seemed to be a dead end, the Most High gave Moses these encouraging words to give to them. Fear ye not, stand still, see the salvation of Yahweh. These Egyptians that you see here today, they would not have power over you ever again. The Most High will fight for you. But here's the kicker, family. We have to hold our peace. And the Hebrew word that's there in the text is charash, which means be quiet. Can't go back, can't stay here, keep moving forward. Shalom.
Listen, Genesis chapter 11 verse 10 explains the genealogy of Shem. Shem was a black man in Africa. If you repeat this back, Genesis 14 verse 13, Abraham steps on the scene. Being a descendant of Shem, which is a fact, means Abraham too was black. Abraham, born in the city of a black man, called Nimrod, grandson of Ham. Ham had 4 sons. One was named Canaan. Here, let me do some explaining. Abraham, Isaac was the... Jacob had 12 sons, for real, and these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10, these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10, these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10.